What is climate change? It is a change in Earth's climatic system in a particular place whereby the new weather patterns last for a few decades and maybe for millions of years. What does this mean? Earth's atmosphere is made up of oxygen, a large amount of nitrogen, and a small percentage of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. Greenhouse gases act like a blanket around the Earth. They trap warmth from the sun and make life on Earth possible. Without them, too much heat would escape and the surface of the planet would freeze. However, increasing the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere causes the Earth to heat more and the climate to change. This process is often called global warming, but it is better to think of it as climate change. This is because it is likely to change other aspects of climate, as well as temperature, and also bring about more extreme climate events such as floods, storms, cyclones, and droughts.
Some causes of climate change seen in water bodies would include coral bleaching. This is one of the most visually dramatic effects of climate change, which is a stress response caused by high water temperatures that can lead to coral death. Within the recent years, there have been widespread and severe coral bleaching episodes around the world, with coral mortality reaching 70% in some regions. Another one would be stormy weather, where most scientists believe that global warming will bring about a new era of extreme and unpredictable weather. Tropical storms and heavier rainfall may increase, and so too would the consequent physical damage to coral reefs, coastal ecosystems, and coastal communities. This was seen back in 2016. Climate change can also alter lifestyles because rising temperatures can directly affect the metabolism, life cycle, and behavior of marine species. For many species, temperature serves as a cue. Clearly, changes in sea temperature could affect their successful breeding. The number of male and female offspring is determined by temperature for marine turtles, as well as some fish and copepods. Changing climate could therefore skew sex ratios and threaten population survival. Climate change also causes rising sea levels and acidic oceans. There is a current increase in global temperature of 0.7 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times is disrupting life in the oceans. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predicts a further rise of between 1.4 degrees Celsius and 5.8 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Climate change could be the knockout punch for many species which are already under stress from overfishing and habitat loss. Sargassum may be caused by the rise of sea temperature and the change of sea currents due to climate change. It can also be caused by the nutriments from agricultural fertilizers and wastewater from the cities that end up in the sea.
It is true that climate change has been driven by natural causes in the past, where climate has changed over millions of years from ice ages to tropical heat and back again. Natural changes over the past 10,000 years have generally been gradual. This has enabled plants, people, and animals to adapt or migrate. However, some prehistoric climate changes may have been abrupt and are likely to have led to a mass extinction of species. These human-induced activities are increasing the level of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere and causing the Earth to heat up at an unprecedented rate. This recent warming can only be explained by the influences of humans.
Many people have different opinions on climate change. Experts believe that climate change may possibly be the end of us. We asked people on social media for their thoughts, however, only a few people expressed some serious concerns. The others did not take the issue severely.
How is climate change impacting the water cycle? Climate change increases our risk of both heavy rains and extreme droughts. Science has shown that climate change touches every corner of our planet's ecosystem, and the water cycle is no exception. Changes in one have consequences on the other. As global temperatures have steadily increased at their fastest rates, it's directly affected water vapor concentrations, clouds, precipitations, patterns, and stream flow patterns. So how does climate change impact the water cycle? Water evaporates from the land and sea, which eventually returns to earth as hail and rain. Climate change intensifies this cycle because as air temperature increases, more water evaporates into the air. Warmer air can hold more water vapor, which can lead to more intense rainstorms, causing major problems like extreme flooding in coastal communities around the world. At the same time that some areas are experiencing stronger storms, others are experiencing more dry air and even drought. As temperatures rise, evaporation increases and soil dries out. Then when rain does come, much of the water runs off the hard ground into rivers and streams, and the soil remains dry. The result? Still more evaporation from the soil and an increased risk of drought.
What can you do to reduce climate change? Impervious surfaces in cities mean unbearable heat and dry aquifers, so when it rains, water is still found on the cement floor. The city must change and offset the effect of these sealed surfaces, allow on side of the roads to contain soil in order for water to be absorbed back. Agriculture maintain pond coverage on the sidelines of the crops, so then it reduces drainage of water instead having a bulk of water going to waste. Close all faucets in your surrounding. The drinking water networks are leaking. Often 1 liter out of 2 never reaches the top. Plumbers must repair the leaks of the drinking water networks. Also reuse the treated wastewater for watering of plants and other green places. We can reduce sargassum with the use of special floating barriers or with the use of sarga boats. We can rebuild resilient corals to withstand the rising temperature, for example. Marine biologists plant corals within nurseries in the Belize Barrier Reef. They plant broken bits of the coral found at the sea floor. The biologists grow 3 clippings until the corals are mature, which takes about a year or 2. Corals can reproduce like grafted plants, where it is an asexual joining of 2 or more parts to form one.
Our final call for action would include closing the faucets, picking up garbage so it doesn't enter waterways, practicing safe and healthy proper waste disposal, and spreading awareness.